Good evening, Darklings. It's me, Cherry. Thanks for coming back for the 31 days of Halloween. Today I want to talk about something that can be a little bit difficult to talk about. Obviously, this is my favorite time of year. It's always the best for me in terms of the changing weather. I always prefer cooler weather. I love watching the trees change. I love everything spooky and everything that comes along with Halloween. The food, oh my God, fall food is the best. Gourds and squash become available again. Soup becomes an option again because I tend to run hot-blooded in the summer, so I don't do a lot of hot foods in the summer. But fall is perfect for that. So when I have a tough day or I'm having a thin day mental health-wise, as my friend would say, feel a little bit like butter scraped over too much bread, as the infamous Tolkien wrote. It can become really difficult because there's all of these things that say I should be happy, I should be feeling better, I should be in a better spirit, I don't understand why I feel this way. It can get really tough when you have those down mental health days. So I wanted to take an opportunity to say, number one, first and foremost, be gentle with yourself. When you're having days like this, it's really easy to tear into the whys. Why am I this way? Why is this happening? You can become really easily frustrated with the reasons behind what's happening. But what it really boils down to is you are where you are, what's happening is happening. What can you do to kind of get through those days? So I wanted to come up with a list of some ideas based upon, regionality is obviously going to factor into this because I am in the Midwest, so we have a plethora of different fall options. But there's plenty of things that you can do no matter where you are. If you're having a tough day. And I tried to base this on if you're up for going outside of your house. There are some outdoor activities on the list. And then if you're not really up for leaving and you just want to kind of slug it at home, I came up with a bunch of indoor stuff as well. And in addition, these are things, some of them are social, so you'd invite people over if you're feeling like you can interact with friends or want to see people, want to engage with your support group. And some of them are just solo activities. So these are some things that can hopefully help you get through a tough day during your favorite time of the year. And so let's get started. First up, I'm going to talk about my outdoor things. So these are things that you can do outside of your house if you're having a tough day. Or really just want some ideas of fun things to do in the fall. These are some options for you. So first up, you could visit a farm. Whether you live in the suburbs or a rural area already, you can do a quick Google search and find plenty of stuff, hopefully within driving distance of you, where you can go and engage in fall activities. So in the Midwest, at least, this includes options of apple picking, pumpkin picking, hay rides, corn mazes, and really any other fun activities that might be available at farms in your area. There are also, at this time of year, plenty of haunted houses or haunted attractions you could attend. You could even host a bonfire and tell scary stories with friends. Obviously, there's tons of Halloween stuff in the stores these days, so you could just go out if you have money to spend or not, and just, while away a couple of hours wandering up and down the Halloween aisles in your favorite local stores. Otherwise, another quick Google search should show you some events or festivals or even parades that might be going on in your area with a fall or Halloween theme. Obviously, dependent upon date, is trick-or-treating. If you have kids or if you have friends with kids, you could obviously just reach out to them and get dressed up and go along, or sit and help hand out candy. Or costume parties. Maybe there are local venues that are hosting a costume party that you could attend. And then last, but certainly not least, would be just your traditional outdoor activities. So Hiking, check out if there's any hiking trails in the area that might go through the woods where the trees are changing. Biking, same situation. See if there's a bike trail in your area that might go through the woods to watch the trees changing. Or camping, just plan an overnight with some friends. You can obviously incorporate the bonfire and the ghost stories there. But just kind of get out and start to enjoy the season. I find sometimes, for me personally, there's nothing better than getting out into nature if you're feeling a little down. Just sort of grounding yourself in a non-religious way. Just sort of grounding yourself and coming back to center can be really helpful. So those were my outdoor suggestions. Now here are a few indoor suggestions, some of which will be solo ideas, and some of which would be things that you could invite friends or family to participate in. Obviously, if you haven't already, you could just go ahead and decorate your house for Halloween. This doesn't necessarily need to include any store-bought items. You can easily make your own decorations with craft materials. There are tons of tutorials online and DIY videos for you to check out. A simple Google or YouTube search will give you some ideas. You can also design your costume, start looking for ideas of what you want to be this year, come up with some interesting ideas of how you want to build it, what sort of accessories you want to go along with it. Think about what plans you might already have and how that costume can translate there. Just take some time and focus on something positive, something that's coming up that you're looking forward to. If you're having a tough day, this can be super helpful. On the food side of things, baking anything is a great idea. Turning on the oven, warming up your kitchen. Doesn't necessarily have to be sweet treats. You could just bake bread. You could bake cookies, a pie. The sky's the limit, basically. But making something can sometimes help when you're feeling down. Otherwise, if you have a little bit of time and you want to plan something, you could have a soup potluck with friends. So everybody brings, a different kind of soup, and then you all sort of get together and maybe you eat that bread you baked, along with just a plethora of different yummy soups. You could carve up some of the pumpkins you got while pumpkin picking. You could also host a scary movie night or a scary game night. There are tons of game options out there that are perfectly Halloween specific. My personal favorite is Betrayal at the House on the Hill. I'll include a link to it in the description below. It is my favorite. Basically, you play a character and you build a haunted house as you play the game. And then at a certain point, the haunt starts. And the designers of the game came up with 50 different scenarios that could possibly be triggered when you play the game. So each time you play is different. They also have an expansion called Widow's Walk that expands the house even further and includes even more scenarios. So I always like how different it is each time you play, and it's always spooky and atmospheric. So I'll include, again, a description in the link below, but I highly recommend Betrayal at the House on the Hill. And last but certainly not least, if you're not really feeling up to going out, if you're not really feeling like you want to see anyone or do much of anything, grab your favorite spooky book or a happy book if you don't feel like something spooky. Sit down and read, get comfortable, snuggle into bed, put on some comfy clothes. Or if you don't want to read, pick up a spooky coloring book. I know at my darkest times, just the simplicity of coloring inside the lines and creating something pretty helped me a lot. And you can put on some tunes in the background. Anything that helps you feel better is a great idea if you're feeling like you just sort of want to isolate yourself and just while away the hours until you start feeling better. So whether you are having a thin mental health day or just wanted some fun fall ideas, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps at least one of you out to come up with some fun ideas to do at this, the most wonderful time of the year. And please drop me a comment or question down below. Let me know if this helped you just come up with some ideas, or let me know what your favorite fall time activity is. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and tap the bell if you want to receive notifications from me whenever I post. And please stay spooky. I'll see you next time.